Every year, someone dies from a penny dropped off a skyscraper. At least, that's what you've probably heard. Today, we're finding out if that's actually true. It's one of the most repeated pieces of common knowledge out there. Drop a penny from the Empire State Building, and by the time it reaches the sidewalk, it's basically a bullet. Enough to crack a skull or worse. The idea makes sense on the surface. The Empire State Building is over 1,450 feet tall. Give anything that much room to fall, and gravity should turn it into a weapon. So where did this belief actually come from? Part of it comes from decades of urban legend passed around playgrounds. Part of it got amplified by TV science shows that actually tested it. And part of it just comes from basic intuition. Higher drop, more damage, right? Let's actually do the physics. Here's the concept that breaks the whole myth: terminal velocity. Any object falling through air doesn't just keep speeding up forever. Air resistance builds up as you fall faster, until it perfectly cancels out gravity. At that point, your speed stops increasing completely. A skydiver reaches terminal velocity to around 120 miles per hour because a human body is heavy and fairly narrow. But a penny is nothing like a human body. It's flat, it's light, and it tumbles instead of falling straight. Because it's basically a flat disk, a falling penny catches an enormous amount of air relative to its weight. It flutters, tumbles, and spins instead of dropping straight down. That tumbling constantly resets its speed. Multiple independent tests, including drops from actual tall buildings, clock a tumbling penny's terminal velocity at somewhere between 25 and 40 miles per hour. That's a big number, but it's the same speed as a ball thrown by a decent little league pitcher. Not a bullet. At that speed, a penny hitting your skin would sting. It might even leave a small mark. But it does not have anywhere near the force needed to break skin, let alone crack a skull. Physically, it can't. The math just doesn't work. Penny weighs about 2.5 grams. That's roughly the same as a paperclip. Even at its absolute maximum falling speed, there just isn't enough mass behind it to generate lethal force. Kinetic energy depends on both speed and mass, and a penny is critically short on mass. This has actually been tested in real life multiple times, including by science demonstration shows that dropped pennies from real tall buildings and measured the impact. Every single test came back the same way. Stinging, harmless, survivable. And here's the real tell. In over 100 years of skyscrapers existing, there is not one single verified case of a person being killed by a falling penny. Not one. If the myth were true, we'd expect at least a handful of documented incidents by now. But before you assume height never matters, here's the twist. Falling objects absolutely can be deadly. Just not this one. The difference comes down to two things: shape and mass. A golf ball is dense, compact, and doesn't tumble much. It can reach over 90 miles per hour falling from height. A dropped wrench or tool from a construction site can hit even harder, and real injuries and deaths from falling tools at job sites are well documented. That's exactly why construction sites enforce hard hats and drop zones. Dense, compact, non-tumbling objects falling from height are a genuine hazard. The physics that makes a penny harmless is the exact same physics that makes a dropped wrench dangerous. Even something like a large hailstone, which is far lighter than a wrench, can still hurt because ice is dense and doesn't flutter the way a thin, flat coin does. Shape changes everything. So here's the actual rule hiding behind the myth. It was never really about height. It's about whether an object tumbles and catches air, or falls straight and cuts through it. That's the real why behind the myth, not that falling objects are always safe, but that this specific object is uniquely bad at being dangerous. So the next time someone tells you a penny from a skyscraper could kill you, you'll know exactly why that's wrong, and exactly what would actually need to change about that penny for it to become dangerous. Wrenches, golf balls, hailstones, dense, compact, non-tumbling objects are the real hazard from height. The next time you're near a construction site with a hard hat required sign, now you know exactly what physics is protecting you from. That's the why behind one of the internet's most repeated myths. If you've ever wondered why something everyone knows turns out to be wrong, that's exactly what this channel is for. Got a myth or a weird? Everybody knows this fact you want debunked or explained. Drop it in the comments. There's a good chance it becomes the next video. And if you want more of these, subscribing helps more than you'd think. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, where we'll find out why something else you've always believed might not be true at all.